very first thing I would do in a situation like this, especially like, there's something's being said which frustrates you. Okay, so it's frustrating to you. I think the very first thing I would do is I would slow down. Right? So I've seen it sometimes, and I've done it probably myself as well. When someone's having like a WhatsApp argument, you just see these guys who are arguing between themselves. You just see typing, and then typing. They're not even like listening to each other. They're just like going full blast, right? And one of the reasons is because the speed is too fast. They're not trying to process the information. So the first thing I would do is I would say slow down. So you received something which you don't like. It's really frustrating. That's the initial feelings that you've got. That's fine, right? First thing I would say is slow down. The second thing I would say is take another look. Right? So if someone sent me a message, sometimes what I do is I read the message, and then depending upon the situation, I will actually leave it, and then I will come back to it later. Now, I know what you're asking is about responding now, and we don't have time to do that, but I'm just giving you the example that sometimes I do actually read a message and I'm like, forget that, I'll come back to it later. And then when I like go away and I come back, then I come back to it and I find I respond better. But if you're there in the moment, I would slow down. I would take another look at the message, right? So I would reread it. Like, let's say I read something, it's frustrating me. Then I would like slow down. Maybe even I would say slow down. And then the other thing I would do is after slowing down is actually take a breath, right? Because like one of the things that happens is when you're feeling emotionally in trouble, your breathing is kind of messed up. So I would basically slow down. I would take a breath, and then I would reread what's being said. Okay. Then I would ask myself, what is being said here? Like, what is actually being said? So this is what's being said, right? What is being said? Then the next question I will ask myself is, what am I making it mean? Because sometimes what happens is something is said, but what you make it mean, the interpretation is totally down to you, right? So you want to try and separate the facts from the meaning. So you want to ask yourself, what's being said and what am I making it mean? Okay, because these things, they will start to give you a context, right? The other thing I would do sometimes is I would remind myself that this is not about me, this is about them. Okay, this is not about me, this is about them. So I'll give you an example, right? Let's say someone comes to me and says, Muhammad, you're a total idiot, right? Now there'll be some people, if someone said that to them, they might take it to heart. And they might think like, you know what, like, I must be an idiot. If he's calling me an idiot, I'm an idiot, right? And they make what that person's saying about them, right? So then that person goes and says, oh, maybe I'm an idiot. He called me an idiot, this, that, and the other. He's always telling the truth anyway, so maybe I am an idiot and all this. But then you meet the same guy like, 2 days later, he's like, I'm really sorry, bro, I called you an idiot. I shouldn't have called you that. I was just really frustrated. I had a big argument with my wife and I was really upset and you just came in the way. Right? So you need to realize that most of the time when people are communicating, what they're saying is not actually about you, it's about them. Even if they're talking about you, it's actually a reflection of them, what they're experiencing, their emotions, all of these things. And what I found is that the people that are very like resilient, very strong emotionally, they can detach themselves and they realize that what's being said to them is actually very, very different because it's being said by someone else, right? Okay, so the other thing I would say is that after I realized that, look, this is not about me, this is about them. Like, they're communicating whatever kind of thing, yeah? So, like, if someone said, like, you're an idiot, if I took it as, oh my God, I'm an idiot, I get emotional, all that stuff. If I realize it's not about me, it's about them, I could say to that person, I could say, Anas, like, you're calling me an idiot, what's going on, bro? Like, everything okay with you? Right? So now the whole conversation is different. It's no longer about me, an idiot. It's actually about him and finding out what's going on with him. Right? So this kind of links to the other point I would say is that we need to remember that this communication, this relationship, this person that has sent this message that's frustrating you, that is the time for you to now think of the objective. So once you actually slow down, you take a breath, you take another look, you look at what's being said, you look at what you make it mean, and then you kind of realize that it's not about you, it's about the other person. Then after that, it's like, what's my objective in this situation? Okay, so even if he's called me an idiot and I'm like, look, he's my friend, I want to have a good relationship with him, my objective is actually to have a good relationship with him. So maybe right now he's like upset, he's angry, I'll just stay quiet and I'll just leave it. That's my objective. Unfortunately, some people, they make their ego the objective. So in a situation like that, they're like, well, my objective is not to be talked to like that. My objective is not to be walked over by him like that. He can't treat me like that, right? And then you go full force, right? And it just kind of goes back and forth. So I think what's really important is that you look at the objective of the situation right now, the objective of the relationship, and then you tailor your message, your communication to the objective that is there in that moment as well.